Hi marketing leader, today I will bring you the most impactful website change that everyone can make. It is something that we have talked about in the past and even earlier this week. I think it's common knowledge that assets like images, videos help you with website conversions. People like that engagement, people like to see instead of reading, so that's lovely. And today's topic is image optimization, a bit more in-depth than the previous time. As you know, images can get quite large. When you go on vacation, you take your favorite camera with you, you snap those pictures, 5K resolution, very heavy files like 10 megabytes, but lovely to watch them on the TV, right? Well, your website is not the same. You actually need to have lighter images, as light as possible. Just drop that file size down to kilobytes, not megabytes. And how do you do it? Well, my first tip is just be familiar with image extensions. And the first thing you need to know are the image file extensions. They are very different, and you probably know JPEG, PNG, SVG, maybe even WebP, which is a new one, but let's get into them one by one. First of all, I think the main offender on the internet, PNG. Over the years, it has been established as sort of web format, and it is to an extent, but these days people often save everything as PNG without thinking. The main advantage of PNG is what? Yes, you are right, the transparency layer. You can have a PNG of just my head without the background and just slap it on the website. Lovely, right? For testimonials, you just need an outline of my head. That's how our testimonials look on our website, by the way. Go check them out. But do you know what happens when you have a PNG file and you do not need any transparency? That picture from vacation that you took, no transparency whatsoever, save it as PNG. It will be heavier. You know why? Because the file type still stores that information in form of bits, and the file size gets bigger, and you do not need that at all. You can easily compress that and better yet convert it to JPEG, which brings us nicely to JPEG itself. It's a really nice format, what can I say? When you take a picture, save it as JPEG, lovely. You have access to lossless compression, which we'll get to in a second. But the first most important thing is, if you do not need transparency, use JPEG, that's your rule of thumb. And the third type of images, SVG, bit different. It's a vector image, which means it consists of geometrical shapes, not pixels. SVGs are just code. We tell the computer how to draw a line, a circle, a square, and you have it. They also offer transparency, obviously, because you only draw the shape that you need. You don't need to draw a background, though you can do crazy things with them, absolutely. But focus on the basics. SVGs, you usually use them for logos, right? Logos have outlines, shapes. You don't need much detail. You don't have snowflakes in the background, or you don't need face shape details. You can use SVGs for logos instead. What's the best part about that? If you use an SVG logo, you can get it as low as like 1 kilobyte, maybe even less, into bytes. That's amazing, right? Compare 1 kilobyte to 200 kilobytes. I mean 200x difference. And it really matters for your performance. At that point it's diminishing returns, but still you get those returns. The second thing, a bit more of a common knowledge, something we've mentioned in the past, image compression. In short, there are two types of compression, lossy and lossless. The first one, obviously, lossy means that you lose something. You get a bit of noise, maybe you lose color depth, all of that. Not great. When the file size goes down, the quality goes down. Not perfect, but sometimes you have to use it. But your best friend will be lossless compression for formats like JPEG. You can easily tune down the quality from 100% to 90, and I would say even 70. That's my favorite baseline. And you will see the file size drop maybe even 80%, and you won't be able to spot that difference. Trust me, there's no way. Again, as I've mentioned in the past, you can go to easy compressors online to do that. You don't need to know any programs or coding. You just go to tinypng.com, for example, imagecompressor.com, drag and drop files, download the compressed ones, and boom, you just save yourselves 80-70% of file size by doing what? Nothing really. And the third thing, a bit more advanced, sorry, but I think you deserve to know it. So, as you will know, in a layout your image has a certain container, right? For example, it displays to you at 400 by 200 pixels, let's say. What size of an image do you need? What do you think? Do you need 400 by 200? Maybe 1000? Well, the perfect answer is that you need a resolution twice as large as the container. And there's one company you can thank that for, and it's Apple. Of course, it's not all bad. You have to do some extra work, some extra calculations. Yes, I know, multiplying by 2 can be hard. Just to explain it a bit more, Apple makes what they call Retina displays. And in short, they can pack 2 times the amount of pixels that a normal display can. That's really amazing technology, and you can see it on your MacBook even, right? You have a tiny screen, but suddenly it's like 3K resolution. Awesome. But that brings you the issue that if you have a container of 400 pixels on Retina, it's really 800. So you need that image to be a bit larger, and you need to serve the large image to MacBook devices, to Macs, even to phones. Yep. Your phone also has a Retina display probably. Not all of them do, so don't worry, but some of them do, and it's important to optimize for them. Some of those iPhones will have a Retina display, and even on mobile you need an image that is twice as large as the container. So a logo that goes 100 pixels by 20 pixels, it needs to be 200 by 40. Simple. So now, if you use WordPress, other CMS, you probably have a media library with images that you've uploaded, right? Have a look and see their sizes. As an example, let's say you have a lot of Full HD images. Full HD, that's 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, really large. Now let's picture this. Most devices have smaller resolution than that. So if you really have that image, it would need to take up the entire screen for you to be able to justify that size, right? No, you won't get better quality if you upload a Full HD image to the tiny container, like this small, and you want to cram the Full HD image in there. Please, you will just inflate the size of your website, slow down the performance. Don't do it. Go to that media library, check for those files that are super large, maybe even 5K some of them. Please find where do you display them, and if you want to know how to quickly identify how large your image should be, let me know in the comments and I will record a quick guide for you. So we've covered 3 topics which really boil down to one thing: image file size. If you use the proper size of an image, you will reduce its size. If you compress it, you will reduce its size as well. If you remove those non-transparent PNGs and replace them with JPEGs, the size will go down. Your performance will go through the roof, and please, while you're at it, before you make any changes, go to PageSpeed Insights or gtmetrics.com, test the page that you're about to change, test the page speed, compress those images, maybe resize them, maybe remove those Full HD and make them a bit smaller, maybe like 800 pixels wide, and then test it again and tell me the difference in the comments. I really hope you will see great improvement, and your users will thank you, your PPC budget will thank you, your SEO rankings will go up. Just awesome stuff.